Welcome to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we help ambitious W-2 employees who want to leave their job in the next 12 months, earn $1 million per year, drive their dream car, pursue their passions, and take control of their life. We'll actually teach you by interviewing people who have replaced their W-2 income through the proven business model of wholesaling real estate, a way to earn big checks by finding discounted real estate and passing it off to an investor who has money and can give you a $25,000 finder's fee for finding the deal. We're going to give you 2 weekly interviews plus 1 expert-led masterclass in front of a live Q&A audience of the DealMachine community, people who are trying to get this journey done themselves. My co-host is Ryan Haywood, whose sales job was cut when his commissions were cut in 2019, so he quit. And his wife was pregnant at the time, so he actually took a 14-day wholesaling challenge and made $8,500 and has gone on to do 400 deals since then in St. Joseph, Missouri. I'm David Lecco, and I created a process for finding off-market deals that has helped people close 10,000 deals in all 50 states, which turned into the software platform DealMachine. Hey guys, welcome back to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast, where if you want to quit a job you hate and build a life you love, we teach you how to do that through the proven business model of wholesaling real estate. If you've gotten any value from this podcast so far, please make sure you're subscribed and leave us a review. It helps us make more content to get you to financial freedom. We've got a really special guest this time, Randy Guevarra, and he has actually done 15 wholesale deals after he was working as a 911 operator. And so that's actually changed his life.
The DealMachine REI Podcast. Everything you need to know to get started in real estate investing.
Randy, I know you made $10,000 on your very first wholesale deal. Can you walk me through how you made that happen?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So after perusing and trying to learn the whole real estate investing world, I came across DealMachine, and I was able to implement with my team about 500 postcards approximately. And when we did it, well, to scoot back, we drove out there and physically took the pictures of these properties. And I got a phone call. I was at the gym, I believe. And the guy calls me and says, I got a postcard from you. Would you like to take a look at my property? And I said, absolutely. And I went through and asked the questions, the 4 vital questions of what's the condition, what's your timeline, how much do you want for it? And I honestly, I forgot what the 4th one was. But I got through it with him. And I told him too, that, hey, look, I'm going to give you an offer when I get there. If you like me and you like my offer, is there anything stopping us from doing business today? And he said no. So we got there and looked at the house. It was in the condition we thought. He asked us to step outside and said, hey, I need to talk to my wife for 5 minutes. Came back out inside and he said, hey, you got yourself a deal. And we shook hands. I'll be straightforward. We were at the kitchen counter and I was like kind of shaking, putting the contract together, but it was smooth and easy. About a week later, we had a $10,000 check drop into our account.
All right. So if you could back up just a second, that's pretty awesome that you got $10,000 like that. What is wholesaling if you were to describe it to your cousin at a family reunion that has no idea what it is you do?
I'm glad that you brought that up. I mean, usually your cousin's going to look at you at a family reunion and go, what the heck are you talking about? You know, but basically to simplify it in elementary terms is, look, we look for discounted opportunities. And what we do is we come in and give a reasonable cash offer for speed and convenience for the seller. With that, we take that contract and we come to another investor, let's say David, and David's interested in this property. I have it under contract for $100,000. I sell it to David for $110,000, with David knowing that after he puts $20,000 in, it's going to be worth $200,000. So he's either going to hold it or he's going to flip it. So
gotcha.
Hopefully that explained it well.
Yes, it did. So you're not actually buying the property, even though you put it under contract to buy it. Once you have it under contract, you're selling the right to buy it to somebody else. And it's at such a discount. That's why you're making a finder's fee.
Yes, and rightfully so. A lot of people that are doing fix and flips, myself, which I get scoot back on later, but they're not going to sit at the kitchen counter and figure out what the motivation is with, I don't know, we're just throwing it out there, Fran, who fell and broke her hip, and she doesn't want this property no longer. We're a property solutions company. I always pitch to anybody that I'm making contact with that is interested in an offer is, hey, look, I can truly, genuinely tell you that we are about our people over profits. I say that straightforward. If I can help you get to where you need to go, great. If it's not going to work that way, at least I can point you in that direction.
Nice. So you're not trying to force them to sell it, but if they do want to sell it quickly, you can actually provide them a cash offer. And sometimes they'd prefer that than actually trying to get the top dollar for their property.
Absolutely. If they're looking for speed and convenience, absolutely, we can be a resource for them. Now, if they have time and I truly believe that, hey, look, if it's very important for you to make the maximum amount of dollar for this property and you have time and the condition is good, why don't you list it on the market? Don't be scared to do that. I used to be scared to do that.
I love that. Transparency is so important. So you're helping them and you're approaching them in a way that's going to be best for them, not just to get the profit for you. But why in this case do you think the seller chose you instead of listing it with an agent to get the top dollar for their property?
Well, besides me being ridiculously handsome, no, I'm just kidding. No, I really do believe that he sold it to me because he was looking for speed and convenience. And I do hear this a lot. And David, you probably might hear this, is a lot of sellers don't want to go through realtors. Whether that be, I don't know, maybe something in the past, there's good and bad, but, and also maybe some people just don't want to pay the realtor any fees, and save money that route. So, so knowing the motivation was he was tired of being in Las Vegas. Him and his wife wanted to get on the road. They had some family members in Tennessee and he was giving me the vision right away. This is what I want. That Randy, I would like to be gone on X date. And this is how much money I need for this.
Yeah. So he had a time commitment. He had to get somewhere by a certain time.
Absolutely.
Why did he have to get somewhere by a certain time?
I think it was because it was a little while ago. I think there was a family member that was ill and he wanted to be out there. And honestly, too, I don't know if you guys been out of Vegas in June, July, and August. It gets pretty freaking hot out here.
Right.
So people want to avoid the heat, but something I learned from you too, as well, which I've kept. I know that people are a little gun shy at giving what people think is a lowball offer. Well, I liked what I learned from you, David, was, and I've used this a few times, is like, look, hey, I know I can pay $90,000 for this property. You may find somebody else higher, but I do know that I can close at this number. And kind of like leaving the ball back on the court of them. Do they want to go with this guy or do they want to take their chances? There's another thing that I didn't understand, which I learned is, look, we're looking for a no as soon as possible. Because once we get that no, then we know we could take our energy and put it into another, because there's another deal out there. This whole country, there's 6 to 10% are in distress out of all the properties that are here in this country. So don't just get stuck on one seller.
No, that's really, really two good points. You should feel uncomfortable with how low your offer is so that there is room for you to make money or if something goes wrong. And then also, focus on a lot of other properties rather than trying to convince one person they need to sell. I like how you said it's actually a disqualification process. So there's no pressure on you to pressure them. You're trying to get to a no as soon as possible so you can find somebody who truly does want to sell at a discount.
Absolutely, absolutely. And believe me, when I first started, any person that admitted or said, hey, I would consider an offer, I would be right at the front door.
Yeah.
More so I disqualify them now.
All right. Where was this property? What market?
The first one that we talked about was Henderson, but I would love to share that second one. The Henderson, which is it's another city next to Las Vegas, a major city, still in Clark County.
But, and what contract did you use to get this thing under contract and strike a deal with the seller?
It's purchase and sale agreements. I was actually back in 2018. I was, I don't know if they're around anymore, Fortune Builder student. So I paid a good amount of money to learn about real estate investing, and they gave us contracts that we could use.
Okay.
Anytime somebody gives you a contract, I would recommend going to a lawyer in your state and have them look over it.
Right. That makes sense. All right. Did you feel nervous at all when you were talking and trying to do this for the first time?
Yes, I did. I was nervous, but more confident because I had experience with it. Like I was mentioning, I did do fix and flip. I didn't listen to my coaches at Fortune Builder, so I thought I was going to have a TV show and have everybody watch me do these fix and flips. But I learned really quickly that fix and flipping was tough. It's really tough. It's not necessarily the work, but it's people are not showing up to work nowadays. You got contractors that are going to delay you. And the cost of materials are just so high. But the reason why I'm so on to wholesaling is, to be straightforward, is to make my bank account healthy enough to be able to do fix and flips or be able to do more buy and holds towards that goal of financial freedom.
Interesting. Why is wholesaling going to help your bank account more than fixing and flipping? Because I thought you could make more fixing and flipping. Oh,
absolutely. You can make more, but it depends on the deal and what kind of spread you got. Wholesaling, if I'm answering this question right, I've made deals from $10,000 to $43,000. And also we got one closing in 2 days for $53,000.
That's huge. Really?
$3,000. Yes. My mentor, Mr. Brent Daniels, challenged me to get into the $50,000 club, and we're about to do that here in 2 days.
What did you do to actually make a bigger amount of money on a single deal like that?
I actually thought outside the box. I was looking around my neighborhood and all of Las Vegas, and I noticed that there was no "We Buy Houses" signs in Spanish. So I put out bandit signs in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but a lady that I'm very close with that we swatted up together, she speaks Spanish. So we were able to get a motivated seller after 2 weeks. And he just met us at Burger King, and he was very motivated. He wanted to go back to Mexico, and we're making that happen. And I was able to, what was great about it was some of my old fix and flip buddies, I was just so happy to be on the phone with when I was at Burger King. And I was like, hey, look, I got this deal right here. I'm going to make the offer right now. Can you be around? What would you pay me for this if you were interested? They gave me the number right away, and there was a $53,000 spread. So we're looking to close now. I'd love to share that with you guys when that check hits the account.
Oh, that would be amazing. We'll have to welcome you into the $50,000 club. It's a big club.
Absolutely. It's a big club, right? I'm striving to get into the club.
Please open up your podcast app right now and leave us a review and let us know what you thought of this episode. It means so much because the reviews help us get in front of more people. And the more people we can get in front of, the more we can help them achieve financial freedom. And we also get more energy to put more content out like this to help you. So by leaving us a review, it will give you more content to come to help you along on your journey. Thank you so much. Well, on that first property especially, one of the things I find people don't know is, who are they going to sell this property to? Who did you end up finding as the buyer that paid you that $10,000 fee?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting one. That's a little while back, but we actually were networking with realtors because, that's what we were taught to do. And very green to the whole situation. And it was like, I said, hey, look, if you can find somebody at this number, send them my way. We'll make sure to compensate you, which we did. And she just so happened to go on her buyer's list, and boom, we got a 2-man crew that was, I guess they were brothers, and they were ready to buy it, and they put their earnest money deposit down. So it was through a realtor.
How did you network with realtors?
Calling, Facebook, social media, anybody who's active, and I love networking with realtors because, look, they're in front of this more than us wholesalers. They come through these opportunities many times, and a lot of times you have to educate them from what we do.
Gotcha.
A lot of realtors will, and you get a agree or disagree, will tell you they know what wholesaling is, but once you peel the onion more, they don't really understand what's going on.
Gotcha.
You-
Gotcha. So did you have a property under contract yet, or how did those phone calls go when you were calling a realtor?
How do those phone calls go? A lot of just like, hey, get out of here. You're a low baller.
No. What did you say to them?
What did I say? Oh, what did I say to them? The realtors is like, look, I'm looking at, first of all, number one, I'm looking for relationships. If you come across any properties that you don't believe will pass an appraisal, something that needs a little bit of love, before you put that on the MLS, please give me a call and I'll see if I can get a cash offer and close that thing, depending on what the seller wants, going back to, the sellers. And just make sure to give me that call. And just so happened, that's that $43,000 one that I got.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So by talking with the realtors, where did you get the list from? Is that public information?
Oh, great. PropStream. PropStream is great. It's a platform where I can just scan certain areas and zip codes of realtors that have recently sold what looks to be fix and flips. If you look at onto Zillow, which is completely free, or Redfin, you can see, and maybe one indicator is if the front door is painted like a weird color, there's a high possibility that was a fix and flip. So I'll call them and say, hey, look, I understand it was beautiful. That's a beautiful front door. I have another property under contract right now. Do you think your buyer might be interested in buying another?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's really advantageous to the realtor to give you that deal, because you could pay them a referral fee, right? But if you're going to flip it, they could sell it, right?
Oh, 100%. And they love that. We've had it, and I can't tell you, I don't remember her name, but we were able to acquire the property and give her the sellers and buyers commission. And on the back end, after we fixed it, we tried to get her the sellers and buyers, but we got her the sellers. So she got 3 commissions on one property.
That's a really compelling reason for a realtor to help you. So I like to call that out. If somebody's going to call realtors and do the same thing, Paul Myers actually calls it the triple dip, right? Because they get paid on the first lot that they give you, and then they also get paid whenever you sell it. What was the third time for you?
The third time, as far as...
You said this realtor made money 3 times?
Well, yeah, if you go to the 3% that they gave, we gave up, she agreed to represent us.
Oh, so that's the triple. Yes, because she's representing the buyer and the seller, so she makes twice the money there.
Twice the money there, and then on the back end, after we fixed it, boom, she got another 3%. And amazing. Don't be shy about it. This is just my thing is just like, look, when you're talking to realtors, like you hope they make a ton of money, because and when you prove it to them, guess who they're going to call first?
Right. So once you had that first property under contract, did you go back to those realtors and say, "Oh, I have a deal that I'd like to sell"?
Yes, did go back. Unfortunately, that particular one that we're talking about, she actually quit as a realtor. So she had some other endeavors that she was taking on. But to answer, yes, I always go back regardless. So
you're saying she wasn't a realtor anymore when you called her, but she still was able to refer you to a buyer.
100%. She's like, Randy, look, I have a buyer's list of X amount.
Yes. And you normally wouldn't pay a realtor on a wholesale deal, but for the referral, you were going to give her like some type of referral fee, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. What was that? How much was that?
$600.
Okay, $600. You made 10. What was the total value of the purchase price that the buyer ended up buying it from you for?
I got it under contract for $187,000. It was a model match sold a month ago prior to that for $275. Was it $275? And so we made the $10,000 plus the $600. So you can go ahead and minus the $600, but I'm still going to celebrate $10,000.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, but I guess I'm big on everybody getting paid. Anybody who's been involved in the transaction, let's get you paid.
100%. So at the time, you were working as a 911 operator, and you said you felt like you were feeling stuck. You weren't able to progress. So maybe there wasn't a lot of career progression in that job is what you felt.
Yes. To be straightforward, I was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week on the ambulance, training others to be EMTs. And I enjoyed it, but I hit the ceiling of, I got, the max amount of pay. I got the max amount of vacation and 401k, but I just felt like there was something missing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And to be straightforward, I actually, for the first time, went to a psychic.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I went to a psychic randomly, and I just was randomly out there. And this psychic told me that you have your ship is in, and it's up to you to jump on the ship. It may not ever come back again, or it might be a long time. So that's what the indicator for me was like, let's jump on this and learn real estate investing.
Yes, I love it because it helped you take action. And every story I've heard, it always comes from action. So that's really, really awesome that you were motivated at that time.
Yes, absolutely.
So you said you were married to a job. You weren't married, or you were single at that time?
I did get married at that time. I was married to the job, to be straightforward, which I'm not going to 100% point it at that, but that ended up in divorce. I wasn't at home as much as, I couldn't tell. I could not have a traditional family where I would be home at 6 o'clock and have dinner.
I imagine that's a pretty stressful job too. You're always answering emergency calls.
Absolutely. It takes a toll. And after a while, it's just like, I'm around sick people all the time, which is great. I love what I do, but it just, at some point, it's just like, I'm like a walking zombie at some point. That's what it was. I didn't even remember driving to work, because it was just all robotic.
Yeah. Once you made that $10,000, it seemed like you really understood a path forward at this point to grow your career and grow your income. What did that end up doing for you?
I remember the spot I was at. I was in front of Wells Fargo, and I saw that check in my hand, and it had my company name on there. And in my concept of money and working for others just shifted in my brain. Was like, look, I went out and looked for this opportunity. I sourced that opportunity to somebody else that in turn will give other people jobs, but the main thing is looking at it is like, hey, wash, rinse, and repeat. I know that I did it. I got to the finish line. It wasn't easy, but I got there. And so I just kept on wash, rinse, and repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat. And now I know that I'm relying on myself for my future and my family's future. And to be straightforward, I'm not answering to a W-2 boss, and that's freedom within itself. Look, I get to spend a majority of my time with my 2-year-old son and my fiance here. I don't know if you guys can see.
Oh yeah, that's such a cute picture.
Yeah. And that's actually in Kazakhstan, where my fiance is from, actually. And it's amazing to be able to watch him grow because he's growing so quickly, and being able to have that bumper of not worrying about how am I going to pay this water bill or whichever. It's just on automatic.
Amazing. Well, let me get to the final round of our podcast episode. I call it the Guilt-Free Profit Lightning Round question session because there were a few things when I was getting started where I actually felt guilty making money, but you have to have that discipline in order to build a business that gives you that freedom, which is what everyone here is trying to do by listening to this podcast. So the first question is, when you were working at that 911 operator, what do you think the ethics are of answering a call that comes in from your real estate investing postcard if you're on the job, and how did you handle that?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand the question. Can you rephrase the question again?
Yeah. You had a job when you were getting into real estate investing, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get any calls back while you were at work?
No callbacks at work. I mean, that would be the same. Actually, I take that back. We do get callbacks of the same patient plenty of times.
Well, what I'm speaking of is, did a seller ever call you wanting to sell their house while you were at work?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. While
okay.
at work. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So did you take the call?
I did. And fortunately, I've been doing it long enough to where I said, hey, look, I remember her name was Mary. Mary, I actually in the middle of something, can you give me 15 minutes? And I actually, to be straightforward, fortunately, I didn't have a sick patient, but we were able to drop off the patient in the ER, and I went back to the ambulance and called Mary back.
Okay, gotcha. That's an amazing way to handle it. It's so important to answer the phone right away, because people will call the next person if they don't get an answer from you. So I love that you answered it and you said, let me call you back right away. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I agree. I'll be straightforward. Just yesterday, there was a 2 days ago, we didn't answer the call, and she said, hey, I have a house. Do you want it? And kind of like in bold letters. And when I called her back, which was 15 minutes later, because I was in the middle of something, she had already gone to another person. So those inbound calls, if you don't answer the phone, it's not going to work.
Got it. Do you think that the entrepreneur lifestyle has given you freedom right away, or how long did that take before you really felt like you had some time back? Because a lot of times people start a business and it's more work than what their job was.
Yes. Right away, no. I would say for the first 2 or 3 years, it was grind after grind after grind. But as far as like being able to live the lifestyle I wanted to, yes, I got to dabble a little bit. Like I was saying, we went to Kazakhstan, Turkey, got to see Istanbul. We just got back from Hawaii. I haven't been to Hawaii for a long time, so I love to travel and all that. But yes, it has given me that opportunity.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Do you think entrepreneurship is for everyone now that you've been on this path for a little while?
No, I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for, how do I say that? I think it's for anybody that is willing to shift their mindset. If they can shift their mindset and get through all of the rackets that might be in the head of the limiting beliefs, and you every day have massive imperfect action, there will be results. So basically saying that if you really, really, really deep down wanted to be your own boss and make a certain amount of money that you want in the lifestyle that you want to live, then I would say go for it. Is it for everybody? Not everybody, but I mean, I'm biased towards it. I'm in this for the rest of my life. So, hope that answers.
Good. No, I'm definitely glad it's helped you see a path forward and that you're loving it. Guys, that's the episode. Thank you, Randy, so much for giving us your time and doing that deep dive on that first deal, which is going to be really impactful for somebody who's in the similar situation that can't see a step forward in their current job. You guys are listening, make sure you're subscribed and then leave us a review. It helps us make more content to get you to financial freedom. You can follow Randy on Instagram at RJR Homes LLC, and we'll see you next time.
Love to hear from you guys. See you soon, David. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.